In this masterclass, we talk about LinkedIn prospecting, sales scripts, and the 4-hour work week. Hey guys, what's going on? Austin Distal here with the Entrepreneur Alliance. Today, our new masterclass is all about LinkedIn prospecting and how you can use this incredible social network to land clients every month. And today, our expert for the day is Alex Schlinsky, who is coming from Tampa, Florida. And this guy is actually a fellow 6K native who was in the first round with Dave. And I know I was in there with him. I think we probably got started around the same time in digital marketing. And now a couple years later, Alex is teaching this stuff. And it's really incredible, getting great results. Just kind of give you a little taste of what's happening here. Back in the day, Alex used to go around and ask for referrals and hope and pray that people were going to come into his business. And now, being about 2 years later, he's getting an average of 2 more clients a month through inbound marketing on LinkedIn, and then also has now built up an agency over 15 people and now teaches this stuff on his own through prospecting on demand. So anyway, I'm going to give up the floor here to Alex. Alex, do you want to kind of tell your story and, explain kind of how you got to this point and why LinkedIn?
Awesome. Hey, Austin, thanks a lot for having me. Dave and the team over there appreciate this opportunity. Really awesome. Love the Entrepreneur Alliance. Want to share this kind of information with the family, guys. Listen, look, if you're watching this masterclass right now, I'm not going to hold anything back here. This is not like, hey, I'm going to keep some secrets that I want you to come for me. I'm going to lay it all on the line for you guys right now. We're going to talk about how you're going to really generate some new leads, new clients, new business, because that's what we're here to talk about. Now, Austin made a great reference that I'm going to bring up here as I tell you a little bit about my story, just briefly. So when I started, first of all, when I graduated college, graduated as a psych degree in University of Central Florida in Orlando. When I left college, many of you probably understand this, I just didn't know what I wanted to do. I wasn't certain. A lot of people feel that way, I'm sure, when you leave college, unless you're really in like the legal track or the medical track. There's not like an exact definition or direction that you're going to always go. I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur after reading the 4-Hour Work Week. Pretty classic. I'm sure everyone has read that.
Yeah, buddy.
I know you're a big fan of it. I love it. Tools for Titans is also amazing if you guys haven't read it. Oh, here we go. I knew you're going to have it. That's amazing. So yeah, Tim Ferriss is great. He really enlightened me. That's awesome. He enlightened me to the idea of like, I wanted to work where I wanted to, with whom I wanted to, when I wanted to, and how I wanted to. The main reason for it, the big why, like I always talk about this because it's very important, is to provide for my family. I have a wife, I want to have kids, I want to have a family. And in order to really do that, I didn't want to be battened down, put into a prison in the corporate world. I felt as a 23-year-old at the time, if I decided 5 years into entrepreneurial life that I couldn't do it, I'm pretty sure that, starting 5 years later wouldn't have made such a difference. So I decided to dive right in. Now, my first entrepreneurial pursuit was journalism. Massive, huge, ridiculous sports fan. I could talk sports all day, so if you want to talk about that, feel free to get in touch. But basically, I wanted to couple that into a business. So I started doing some journalism. I worked with a Sports Illustrated affiliate called Fansided. I was writing an unbelievable amount, over 10 articles per day. Eventually, I just kind of ground myself into nothing. I was kind of sick and tired of it. I realized that this is just not what I can do. Wasn't going to make enough money. Wasn't going to be able to achieve my dreams. I accomplished some things, like I was a Miami Dolphins media member. That was a big goal for me. I accomplished that. But I realized in order to provide for my family, I can no longer do this. During some time on Facebook, I was realizing at that time I was working with some lawyers locally as friends, doing just social media management. Facebook ads at the time was still in its neophyte stage, still really early on. But as an entrepreneur, as an intelligent individual at that time, I thought, maybe I can kind of couple this into my own business. I did not even know what digital marketing was, didn't know that was a thing. Saw an ad from Sam Ovens, saw an ad from Dave Rogenmoser, and voila, suddenly I was in 6K and 5 other courses that I purchased at once, kind of just information overload. Did a little bit too much at once, which is okay. I'm sure a lot of you feel that way when you look at EA and there's 50 plus trainings, you're probably like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Take it one day at a time, slowly but surely, and take action. Don't just focus on information. Take action. That's one of the best tips I can give you here, besides for anything regarding LinkedIn. When I started my agency, one of the things that I really struggled with was getting new clients. Like Austin was saying, kind of begging for referrals, literally asking everyone I ever knew. I went door to door. I did some cold calls. These are ineffective prospecting methods. I needed a method that worked. Now, to Dave's credit, most of the courses that I worked on did not have prospecting methods. They were about implementation for digital marketing services, like how to run Facebook ads or Google ads or social media management or Instagram, etc. Dave was one of the few that had this LinkedIn strategy with, as you guys know, autopilot. Now, I started that about 1.5 years ago or so. When I started with autopilot, I was crushing it. We were doing incredibly well. My wife and I were really focused on just really dominating this as much as possible, being as aggressive as possible on LinkedIn. Now, the problem today is LinkedIn has obviously changed quite a lot in 1.5 years. They just unleashed a new UI. Most people hate it. Thankfully, they're listening to us. They're listening and changing the things that we need, which is great for this masterclass today. It's going to help you guys understand where we're standing at now and where we could be. I realized then that, without autopilot, I need to come up with a different solution. We started using Duck Soup, as many of you guys see on the actual group. I've mentioned Duck Soup several times. It's a great method, but it's not automated. My issue is that I wanted this method to be automated. I wanted something where I could generate leads at the top of my funnel without having to spend a ton of money like I would on Facebook, right? That's Facebook ads. That's the easiest way to generate leads, guys. That's not the point of this conversation. The point of this conversation is if you need cost-effective method to generate leads, or you want to hire someone to run LinkedIn for you and generate leads for you, this is going to be the great training for you. Simply put, guys, without autopilot, we needed an automated method. Now, I'm going to tell you the tools that I use here today to kind of give you an idea of where I came from. But while I was using autopilot, while I was using LinkedIn, I was able to take my client base from about 3 referrals to about 15 people, over each one of them over $1,500 a month recurring. Each one of these clients were fantastic. I was focusing mostly on the medical spa niche. I did a little bit of chiropractors as well, but we were really, really crushing it on LinkedIn. And that was really the beginning of our success. And it took a little bit of time before we recognized, as autopilot kind of phased out, what the next step would be. And that's what I'm going to share with you guys here today.
I love it, man. Guys, this is going to be an incredible masterclass. I'm really excited for this one because I've been out of the LinkedIn world here for the last, 6 to 12 months now. I used it in the beginning, and I think I landed like 1 client off LinkedIn, but it wasn't a great client. So I was just like, I'm going to continue on. It was like, Facebook has been, I guess, my main source of finding clients now, and also like doing just random PR stuff. Yep. But I think that this is probably one of the most advantageous channels to take advantage of right now. And so I'm really excited. So Alex, what are like the main things everybody's going to be learning today on the call? Like, what are the bullet points?
Awesome. So the first thing that I'll say that you mentioned, and I want to just kind of position this, frame this. You mentioned, obviously, like I said, Facebook, that's a really great way to generate leads. We all know that. We know about funnels. We know how it works. Dave and this team are showing you guys from the back end how effective it is. We're not here to say that this is a replacement for that. But we also know that a lot of you watching here today are in the beginning stages of your business and don't have maybe $1,000 to spend on ads per month. Maybe don't have even $500 to spend. We're talking about a method here today that's going to cost you under $250 a month. Okay. It's going to be almost 90% automated and could probably generate you anywhere from 10 to 25 consultations per month. Now, based on your sales skills, however, however good you are at sales is really going to determine how successful you are. This is not about, pitching someone and closing them on LinkedIn. That's not at all what I would suggest. I don't think I've ever heard anyone ever pitching someone successfully through text. It's very, very hard to do. You need to be yourself. You need to be speaking. So what we're going to cover here today as a basic strategy in a nutshell, first of all, I'm going to kind of give you our strategy A through Z, tell you what the ideas are as an overarching idea. We're going to give you the tools you need. We're going to talk to you about the important guidelines. We're going to talk to you about messaging scripts, which is absolutely critical. This whole thing falls apart if you do not have good messaging. We're going to talk about growing your network and contact list. That's part of a little bit outside of LinkedIn, where you can kind of create an email marketing campaign through your LinkedIn. It's something that not a lot of people talk about, but it's very, very effective. Cold outreach through emails, pretty effective method. And it's great to utilize through LinkedIn as well. And then finally, networking LinkedIn groups, which is very similar to Facebook groups, as Dave and our team are always mentioning to you. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about here in this masterclass. Did I kind of get that what you needed there?
Oh, definitely, man. Yeah. I mean, and guys, if you all are distracted right now, maybe you're scrolling on Facebook or, maybe you're texting at the same time, this is the time to put those things away, put on the do not disturb mode, and just narrow focus here for the next 30, 45 minutes or so, because you're going to get a lot of value out of this next 30 to 45 minutes. So make sure you give Alex here your full focus, and let's kind of jump into it, man.
Awesome. So the first thing that I guys want to tell you about kind of framing about LinkedIn in the first place. First of all, LinkedIn has 467 million users in over 200 different countries. 467 million users. The biggest thing that someone talks to me about when they talk about LinkedIn is my lead on LinkedIn? Guys, yes. 467 million people are on LinkedIn. Yes, your leads are on there. Are there niches that are better than others? Absolutely. I'll kind of talk about that in a little bit. But guys, the point is there are ways, if you're strategic enough to follow this strategy and make it your own, you will find success. Now, there's one other thing I'm going to talk about before we jump into it. Keep in mind, what I tell you is what we're utilizing. This does not mean you have to copy me directly. It's never even effective to ever copy someone directly. Take what I'm giving you here and then implement it yourself for your business. If you have questions, ask it on the EA group, ask me personally, but I promise you guys, if you don't follow it to a T, what I tell you today, it will still work. The idea is you understand the strategy as a whole and then you implement it for your business. That's what we're trying to help you guys achieve today. All right, so now let's talk about the tools that you need. And this is going to be very, very critical that you get these three specific tools, okay? First of all, you need to use Google Chrome. Now, you can use Safari, you can use Internet Explorer. I don't know why you'd be using Internet Explorer. You shouldn't, but if you are, you can use Mozilla, but I would not recommend it. The reason why is because you cannot be effective with our tool if you don't have Google Chrome, because we use a Chrome application similar to DuckSoup that is needed to get through the Google Chrome store. So you need Google Chrome, you need a Google account, very simple. Then you're gonna need LinkedIn Premium. Now, here's where the hoopla has come up. LinkedIn has just got a brand new UI, literally within the last month or so. Not everyone has the new UI yet. I would say it's about 90% rolled out. I think in the United States, it's 100% rolled out, which is great. I'm not sure how, I'm sure there's a lot of other people in EA across the world watching. If you still have the old UI, this will still work for you, but I'm sure you're gonna run into some glitches. There's not much I can do about that, but just keep the ball rolling. Eventually it will work for you. So LinkedIn Premium, you do not need Sales Navigator. That is the key. That was the biggest thing about this before the masterclass. You do not need Sales Navigator. If you're using it now, great. If you want to keep going for it, awesome. It's very expensive. I believe it's $79 a month. It's much more expensive than, it's about $20 more than Business Plus, which I think is $59.99. That's what you need, Business Plus. You also need what's called LinMail Pro, LinMail Pro, LinMail Pro. That is the key to the kingdom, guys. That's the autopilot. That's the DuckSoup. That's really what's going to give you everything. Now, here's the great thing. If you guys have watched the autopilot training from Dave and 6K, which if you haven't, I recommend it. It's still helpful, still useful. You can't use the tool, but the strategy as a whole is still useful. LinMail Pro is basically the best possible version of DuckSoup and autopilot. You know how autopilot, the word is autopilot? The truth is it's not really autopilot. You have to make a search, you got to search the profiles, and you got to do everything else yourself. LinMail Pro does about 99% automated, and we're going to talk about that here. The final thing you need is the actual LinMail Pro widget. So you need the Chrome extension and the widget. If you do not have the widget, it will not work. I've had many people tell me, hey, I can't get this to work. You need the widget. You simply download it. Once you download LinMail Pro and pay for LinMail Pro through Google Chrome, you'll get an email. You'll get a download. You download that widget. Simple as that. You run it in the background, nothing else. So again, to recap, Google Chrome and Google account, LinkedIn Premium, I would recommend Business Plus, LinMail Pro, and the widget. That was 4 things, not 3, so my bad. Okay.
So Alex, all in, what can people expect to pay for all of the software?
Okay, so it keeps changing because LinkedIn has just brought out a new UI, and before they got all the negative feedback, they took away the advanced search. The advanced search is absolutely critical to the strategy overall. And that was only available on Sales Navigator. Thankfully, there was a lot of pushback. LinkedIn has agreed. They have now moved it back to the Business Plus. My account has it. I'm going to show it to you here in just a couple of minutes via screen share. Your account may not have it, but it will eventually. So Business Plus, I believe, is $60. LinMail Pro, I believe, is about $50. So you're looking at around 100 to like 150, I would say ballpark area. It's going to be definitely under $200, and it's a highly effective method. If you're price anchoring for this, guys, you generate a single client in your niche, you're probably at least $500. I sincerely hope you're charging more than that. But if you're at least 500, you're going to get more. I would say, 1,000, 1,500 price anchoring, you're going to be making a significant return on the investment. It's a highly effective method.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it seems like if you're charging $1,500 a month, all you need is one client after a full year.
Yeah.
Pay for itself off in 1 month.
It's incredibly powerful. I think the only thing I would say about your positioning there, Austin, is the time is more valuable than money. That's where I come in. And that's where like my philosophy is why I like this LinkedIn strategy. A lot of people, and specifically people in our industry, are really focused on price anchoring and like, how much money am I going to make back as a return on the investment? But they forget about the time associated with it, right? So if you're doing a LinkedIn method that you're spending $0 on because you're using all the free methods, but you're spending 4 hours a day on it, is it really worth the 4 hours to not pay the $110? That would only require you to do 30 minutes. That's the key. So you also want to remember your time is also very valuable, in my opinion, more valuable than money is. So that's something that you really should consider when you're trying to decide what type of market or lead generation tactic you're going to utilize. I'd say for LinkedIn, it's not only the most cost effective, but it's one of the most time effective methods, period. One of my all-time favorite lead generation methods. I utilize it consistently still to this day. And I strongly recommend you guys listen up here because we're about to give you pretty much everything you need to
I love it. Lessons coming right out of this book, guys.
There you go.
Automate, eliminate, delegate.
Love it.
That's all it is. So I think you mentioned earlier that, this eventually could be taught to a VA
100%.
to do this for you.
And
right?
that's exactly what I do.
We have the software working for us on the automation side. And then that 10% of work that still needs to be done manually can then be easily delegated to somebody on the other side of the world that will do this for you. Exactly. And now you have something that's literally out of your time effort zone and completely automated and delegated the entire time.
And on top of that, one of the other great facets of LinMail Pro is they have an extra option. I don't know what it's called off the top of my head. I think it's LinMail Manage, I believe it's called. It's much more expensive. It's like, I think $200 to like $350, but it basically allows you to make LinkedIn prospecting as a service option for your business. So for example, if a lead comes to you and says, hey, can you generate leads for me on LinkedIn? You say, absolutely. You could actually purchase LinMail Manage, upsell them significantly for your time. You can even delegate it to a VA. And now you have multiple LinMail accounts. It's really powerful. I personally have not tried it out. I know a couple of my members have, and have found great success with it. It's just something to keep in mind. It could even become not only just a way to generate leads, but even a new service option for your business.
Totally. I mean, this could be used for affiliate marketing as well. Let's say that you're representing somebody else's product.
Yep.
You get a commission for that product. Then you could totally use this, run it on autopilot, and have that as a side hustle course of income. 100%.
You could book calls. You can get webinar registrants. You can send people directly to a sales page. Strongly don't recommend doing that, but you can. I would say those are really like the two really powerful ones. I woit's say if you're doing a webinar, great way to get webinar registrants for very, very inexpensive cost. And booking calls to close. It's huge. It's really huge. Let's dive here into the strategy now. Basically what I want to give you guys is like the strategy as a whole in a nutshell. And then I'm going to kind of screen share with you and kind of take you through the strategy basically to kind of give you an idea of where this is coming from, what you can expect to see, and go from there, okay? So first thing regarding LinkedIn is you need to have expert positioning and your profile has to be optimized. Now, what do I mean by that? First of all, if you guys don't have an optimized profile, check out the 6K course. He has a LinkedIn optimization checklist. If you want to get in touch with me, I have my own as well. I'll be happy to share it with anyone here in EA, no problem. The biggest thing I could say in the paradigm shift that I hope to give you here with just a single sentence is this. your LinkedIn profile is not a resume. Let me say it again. It is not a resume. It is a sales letter. Let's be just totally frank here, guys. Literally no one cares what school you went to. They don't care who you've worked for, and they certainly don't care about your accolades. Have you ever been asked that in your digital marketing world, in your entrepreneurship? Hey, where'd you go to school? Hey, what degree did you get? How high in your class did you graduate? People just don't care. They care about what you can do for them right now. Make sure that your LinkedIn page is a sales letter with a specific offer, copywriting, scarcity, etc. You know, the whole shebang. If you guys are not good at copywriting, there's probably 50 people in EA that can help you write it for a very small amount. Get in there, share the love in the family. That's what this is all about, right? That's what we're doing this for. Guys, if your lead is looking at your profile, do you really want them to be knowing what school you went to and where you've worked before? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Sell them on you and sell them on your service. That is the huge paradigm shift that really makes the biggest difference between someone that has expert positioning and an optimized profile and someone that doesn't. The other tiny thing I can mention that's not really so effective, it's not like the biggest deal ever, but having a banner with like a call to action is quite effective. Something that's like book your free consultation or call me here, something similar, simple, but not just like a picture of your dog. And finally, the actual profile, your LinkedIn profile, this is not Facebook. This is not where you're going to be sharing pictures of you and your wife at your wedding. We love those photos. I promise you, we do. We do. We like them. But the idea here is you're supposed to be a professional. You're supposed to have a professional headshot. The great thing is a professional headshot these days literally can be done on an iPhone. Just do it, get it done, post it up there, you're finished, okay? Now, if you need more on the optimizing profiles, again, go check out 6K. Come to me if you need any help. But you need to get that done first because you're going to have a lot of people coming to look at your profile over the next couple of weeks as you run this automation, as you run this strategy. So that's first. After that is the actual method. So the beginning of this method is building your search list with advanced search. Now, what you want to do is focus on second connections and understand the boolean operator. Now, I'm going to actually go in here and I'm going to share my screen with you guys so I can show you what boolean is and how you're going to actually utilize searches. Can you guys see that?
Yep, looks loud and clear.
Perfect. Okay, guys. So we are here on LinkedIn. All right. Now on LinkedIn, what you're going to see is we're on the search portion of LinkedIn. Now here is the questionable part. You may not have this right now. This is Business Plus. This is the advanced search tool. So about a week ago, this was not here, and all it was at the top was just a regular search bar. You really can't do much with that. They don't give you enough. Now, you really need to have the advanced search tools. Otherwise, you're going to be kind of stuck in no man's land. If you don't have the advanced search tools, you need to either get Sales Navigator or wait until the LinkedIn rolls it out again. So basically what you're going to do, you don't need to focus on first or last name. You're always going to be wanting to search second connections. Very simply, second connections can see your profile better. There's a connection between you guys. It's not that you can't utilize third. It's just better to go with second connections. If you end up like running out of leads, which is almost impossible. As I said, there's over 450 million members on LinkedIn. But if you end up running out of leads because you're in a super targeted niche, then you can move over to third connections. You're never going to be searching from first connections in your lead generation efforts. They're already connected with you, so you don't need to be doing any type of searching. If you're doing first connections, that means you're just reviewing someone else's profile, trying to get them to be interested in you again. But this is not about that. We're talking about generating new leads. So let's talk about from my perspective. I work with entrepreneurs. That's me. That's what I do. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to search entrepreneur. Now, these are operated through boolean operators. Now, if you've never heard of boolean before, don't worry. I had never heard of it before until I actually knew what the word was. But it's basically the and, or not searches. There's also parenthetical searches. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to kind of give you some samples, okay? Now, the first one that you can do is a quoted search. So for example, if I wanted to search CEO and only get CEOs, you put them in quotations. If I wanted to search for entrepreneurs and only get entrepreneurs, you put them in quotations. That's really, really important. The good thing is LinkedIn's Boolean search and search in general doesn't really make you need to use quoted searches. It's pretty good at finding the people you want. Next are about 3 other opportunities for searches. You've got not searches or searches, and searches. So if you want to exclude a type of person from your list, you can search with not. So let's say entrepreneur, but not CEO. Maybe I'm not looking for someone at such a high level. I just want them to be, maybe a solopreneur. That might have been even a better term to search, but let's just go with it. United States. I know it's going to reload here. There should be a decent amount of leads here. Let's see. So we got 442 results. Don't mind the page not coming up here. The computer goes a little slow while we're doing some screen shares. But essentially what you'll see here is there's 442 results. Now these are people that are not CEOs, but they are entrepreneurs. That's one way to search on LinkedIn. Here's another way. The alternative is you can do or. Now simply if you wanted people that were entrepreneurs or CEOs, you would put in or. Again, all the boolean operators are going to be in all caps. If you don't do it in all caps, it won't work. Then after that is and. Simple again. You can do entrepreneur and CEO. These are very simple. There's a lot more in-depth ones that you can do, like parenthetical searches. If you put like parentheses and do and or, you don't have to get that in depth, and I don't want to even get into it because it's just going to confuse you guys. Just wanted to give you a sample of basically what the Boolean search is capable of and give you an idea of how that actually works. So let's get back to the idea as a strategy in a nutshell, okay? Now again, remember, optimizing, expert positioning, you've got that down pat. Now we're in building our search list with advanced search through second connections and understanding the Boolean operators, okay? Let's look at what these actual search terms and opportunities are. You can go with a specific name. I'm not sure why you would be searching for a specific name, but if you needed to, you can. The biggest one here for me is always title. Title is really where you're going to find your leads. So for example, if you're in the medical professionals niche, and I was talking to Austin about this before we started, and I wanted to make sure I mentioned this. A lot of you here watching this may be in a niche that's highly targeted, that is very difficult to get in touch with that person. Maybe a lawyer, maybe a doctor, maybe you struggle getting in touch with them. Now, LinkedIn still can work. You can directly get in touch with them, and I'd recommend doing it, but you might be better off by searching for marketing manager and medical profession, something like that, because those are the people, or just an office manager, I mean. If you search office manager here, let's go search office manager in the United States. And then you go down here. We're not going to care about current companies or past companies. We're going to go to industries. So what you're going to do here is add. You're going to go medical and medical practice. And now it's going to search for you. Now keep in mind, these searches based on your second connections are built off your already first connections. So if you don't have any leads, any connections right now, you need to build your connection list. On 6K Success, Dave has a script that you can use to build your connections from 0 to like 500 in a day or two. That's a good way to get started. So you can see here, 17 people. These are all office managers. Look at that. Look at these 17 leads. These are 17 people that I could connect with that are office managers at medical professions. This is exactly how I can get in touch with a guy like Eli Calboom and say, hey, Eli, is your office or is your business currently utilizing digital marketing services? Are you guys doing any sort of PPC ads? Could I interest you and your boss into a conversation? Now, Eli is hired by his boss to make sure that the boss, the doctor, the lawyer, etc., is not the one fielding these messages. That's his job. That's why you should be focusing on someone like him. I wanted to make sure I made that as a mention, okay? So that's one part of it. Make sure you have some really good searches. I would also recommend trying to save all of your searches as much as possible so you can remember what you've done. LinMail Pro, the tool actually allows you to save, which is incredible. I'll show you how to do that here in a minute. Okay, so once you build your search list with advanced search, you have your second connections again, the Boolean operator, you understand all that, great. Now what happens is you're gonna auto view your profiles. Now I'm not gonna actually show you how it works, but essentially you go in here, you click this top button, and here are the 3 options that you can auto utilize. So LinMail Pro does auto messaging, auto connections, and auto visiting of profiles. Now the first step to the actual method is visiting profiles first. Now, you don't have to do it that way. If you want to start, you can start with connection requests, then visit profiles, then do messaging. I like to visit profiles first so they get a notification that Alex Schlinsky has viewed their profile, then send them a connection request because they have an idea of who I am, then follow up with my messaging. That's how I do it. Doesn't mean you cannot do it a different way. Doesn't mean you cannot send connection requests first, then auto visit your first connections and auto endorse them, and then message them. You could do it either way, totally fine. Now you're going to utilize this. The great part of LinMail Pro, by the way, and why I don't have to go through it in such great detail here, is the owner of LinMail Pro, Lori Tubb, has an entire website of just trainings on how to use each one of these tactics. So there's no need for me to go in here and show you exactly how it's done and wait 25 minutes to go through the whole thing. The method from start to finish will take you about 30 minutes a day, and then your follow-ups at the end of the day or the next morning, probably 20 or 25 minutes, and you are going to start landing leads and clients like wildfire. That's the idea. So I don't really want to go through and show you exact step by step. It's not necessary. I'm going to give you, again, this overall strategy, and I'd recommend that you watch these videos so you can see exactly how it works. So I already set up the dashboard, but basically when you go in here, you're going to press dashboard. I think now it's going to reload. Okay, cool. So when you put in a search, you're going to see these come up right here. It says select for LinMail. Now, when you're selecting for LinMail, you see this toggle over here. It says add checked to queue. Now, I'm not going to do that because as you can see here on the icon, we already have 12 people in our queue. But if you press add check to queue, it's going to add everyone that's checked here into this dashboard. This is where the magic happens, guys. Now, I lost the message that I had in here, but essentially I'd recommend you have a notepad that you put in your message here. This would be for connection requests. So basically when you have connection requests, what is going to happen very simply is you're going to go on here. You're going to put in, again, add check to queue. You're going to go back to the dashboard. You're going to put in your message. You can even personalize it, which we strongly recommend. Now, my recommendation for actually running connection requests, I would recommend under 280 characters, making sure you mention their niche and mention that you're happy to connect with them. This is not a time to pitch them. If you pitch them there, you will lose. You will not get them. First of all, a lot of people get connection requests, don't even read the message at all. So just keep that in mind. It's very important to have a message of under 280, make it as personalized as possible for each niche. So if you're focusing on a specific niche, it's going to be easier because you can personalize the message to fit 50 plus people. Now, in terms of keeping with seasoning and making sure LinkedIn is actually not going to ban you because you're suddenly sending 100 connection requests out of nowhere, you want to start slow and kind of move the process as you go along. I'd recommend you start with probably 20 connections in the first day, 25 in the next day, maybe 35, and then I would probably max it out at about 50. I wouldn't go higher than that. If you go higher than that, you could risk yourself getting suspended from LinkedIn. I have not seen that once happen, but it's good. You'd rather play safe than sorry, right? That's the idea. So basically, when you come back in here, very simply, the way you get it started is you press go. Like I'm not going to press go here because I don't even have the message up. But once you press go, it's going to show you the message down here, and it's going to start going through each one of these people. It's going to actually open up its own tab, and essentially, you know what? Let's just pop open a quick message here. This is not going to be a very effective one, obviously. Hi there. I'd love to connect. Sincerely. This is obviously not very good, and I recommend you don't do this, but I'm just showing it to you for sample purposes. So now what's going to happen is I press go. As you can see in the top left, can you see that? I don't think you guys can see that.
In the top left there where it says Office Manager?
No, you can't see it because it's not showing the whole screen, but that's okay. It doesn't make a difference. Basically what it is in this top left, you can't see it right now, but it's basically pops open a new window, and it's actually showing you that it's going through Eric's profile right now. It's endorsing him, it's viewing the profile, and it's sending him a connection request. Now, here's the great part. At this point, I could leave. I could get off LinkedIn. I can go on Facebook. I could get on a call. I could do whatever. I know for a fact that LinkedIn or LinMail Pro is going to go through all these people and send them connection requests. Now, it's saying next in the next 2 seconds, as you can see. So once that's done, it's actually going to show you the progress at the top here. And it's going to put in the person's name, their information, all of their information. Now, you're not going to get their email, phone, Twitter, any of that until their first connections. Okay? So here you go. You see Eric. I can't say that last name, so I'm not even going to try. But you can see Eric, we sent him a connection request. The result was a success. It tells you who he is, where he's from, etc. Now, the great part is, once this is complete, so I'm going to finish. I'm just going to stop this. So now once this is complete, you're going to have a list of about 20 to 50 new connection requests that you sent out. You can actually download the CSV file so you can know, first of all, who you connected with or attempted to connect with so you don't try again. And two, you can re-upload that list to LinkedIn later on. For anyone that didn't accept your request, you can re-upload it and then try a request again. Very, very powerful. This is also great, obviously, for building your list. So that's what you do for the connection requests. The great part is each one of these tools that you see here on the top right, messaging, connection requests, visit profiles, all come through the exact same dashboard. Now, you're not going to have the personalized on every single one, like visit profiles. There's no personalized message, but on messaging there is, and on connection requests there is. It's all through this same dashboard, and it's very, very simple to use. So I'm going to go back here and kind of go again through the kind of skeleton of the method, okay? So again, expert positioning, optimizing your profiles. Then you're going to build your search list with advanced search. Then you're going to auto view these profiles and endorse them. You can do that through LinMail Pro. Once that's done, you're going to then auto connect, and you're going to utilize a personalized message, much better than the one I just showed you guys here. Now remember, you're not pitching them. You are not pitching them on the connection request. It's about them, not about you. And that's effective as well for the messaging. So after you auto connect with a personalized message, you're going to then auto message them. And this is only with first connections. You cannot message second connections because they're not connected yet. You can send LinMail or InMail, excuse me, but you can't do that with LinMail Pro. So once you're connected, let's say you send out 25 connection requests and 20 of them accept it. The next day you can go on here, okay, and you're going to go back to the dashboard, and instead of connection requests, right, instead of connection requests, you're going to press the messaging button. And it says you have 11 messages. Obviously, this is because this is waiting for us in the queue, and it's not going to let us until we empty out this queue. But regardless, the point is you're going to go back in there, and what you're going to essentially do is create a great personalized message as best as you can, and then send them that message. Now, what your process is after you send those messages, the next day you're going to want to look back, see if anyone answered, try to book a consult. Usually how I do it through my messages is I kind of pitch them on, hey, it's great to connect with you. I see that you do this. I see that you do that. I'm really excited to be speaking to you. It's all about them. Then the final thing I say is a PS. I love the PS. It works really well for me. PS, I focus on X, and I can help you with Y. If you'd like to chat, book a call with me here. Thus, I've created a consult. You can also do it utilizing expert positioning. You can try with a free competitor analysis. You can try with a video audit. There's 101 different ideas you can utilize. I've tried many, many different ones. My personal favorite is the PS model. I definitely utilize video audits a lot. Wouldn't be as effective here, especially for personalized, because you have to do a video audit for each person, but it's still effective. So after you build your search list, after you auto view and profiles and endorse, after you auto connect with them and send a personalized message, after you auto message them, what is left? What's left after that? So now you've done the entire process, right? Now what the key is continuing that process based on what you found the best results for. So if you found that people that you viewed first, then sent a connection request to, end up answering your messages first, keep doing that. If you find that sending connection requests first is going to help you better, go for it. It's fine either way. What you want to do, though, is focus on your follow-up message sequence. Your first message needs to have a very clear call to action. You need to be happy that you messaged them, that you're speaking with them, thanking them for actually messaging you back from that connection request, or if they didn't message you back, how you're going to get them to actually message you, right? What are you going to do to get them to message you back? That's the key. Now, I'm going to stop the screen share here because there's not much else to show you. What I want to talk about is basically messaging. I like to do messaging that's extremely personalized, meaning the LinMail Pro side of it makes it a lot more difficult because it's automated. That's the idea. So what I end up doing is, this is my process, and I think it would really help you if you guys try something similar. After running the standard methodology, after searching the profiles, after connecting with the people, after viewing them, after endorsing them, after going through all the automations, what I have is now a list of, let's say, 100 new connections in about 2 days, okay? I look at those 100 connections and I say, I could send one large personalized message that's personalized to the group, but not individually. The only way it's personalized is with the name. I try that first. If anyone bites, maybe 5 people bite and say, I'm interested on a call. Then I follow up on the second message to those now 95 people, and I will actually go in there and personally do it. because why not? Those leads are there. It's going to take me about 5 minutes to make a post, maybe spend 45 minutes with potentially 90 plus leads that you can have. It's worth going to their profile, looking at what they do, and going and kind of messaging them and seeing if you could really get them to bite. If someone doesn't answer you after 2 or 3 messages, it's time to cut the cord and move on. What I usually do is at the end of every single month, I rerun the auto visit profiles on my first connections. I rerun all my message scripts, and I start it kind of over, even if they have not answered me once. I've had people from 6 months ago, after I've sent them maybe 7 messages, very similar ones, obviously, where they get back to me and say, hey, I'm so sorry, I'm never on LinkedIn. If you still have this offer, I'm totally interested. That happens all the time. The point is, guys, not everyone's going to be hawking LinkedIn every single day looking at your posts. If someone doesn't answer you once, it doesn't mean that they are, despise you. The only time I'd recommend stop ever completely messaging is if someone tells you to stop, stop. Do not keep messaging them. Remove them as a connection even, because it will make it easier for you not to get in touch with them again. Because when you do the auto profile views, I'll be honest with you guys, sometimes I don't even look. Like, I'll say, okay, I want 50 people. I know they're already connected with me. Let's send them. I've ended up sending some people extra messages after they specifically asked me not to. I learned that the hard way. Don't do that. No one likes that. I'm sure you wouldn't like that, right? If someone's soliciting you, even if it's really personalized, if you ask them to stop, just stop, right? So I'm going to go through the strategy in a nutshell one more time so you get an idea of exactly what I'm talking about, okay? Expert positioning first. After that, everything else. Now, here's the strategy. You're going to build your search lists. You're going to auto view the profiles. You're going to auto connect with them. You're going to auto message them. You're going to do follow-up messages. And then at the end of every single month, you're going to restart your first connection sequence. So on the first connections, again, you're going to then auto view their profiles. You're not going to connect with them again because you've already done that. But then you're going to auto message them, and then you're going to follow up until you kind of run out of those leads. The last part of the scenario that's not really related to the LinkedIn strategy is the ability to build your list. So let's say you've been doing this for 3 months and you've built a list of 500 first connections. You've closed 3 clients, so you have 497 potential other leads there. Maybe 10 of them have said no, so now you have 487 potential leads. And you have a couple people that you've already booked a call with, maybe 5. So you have like 482 potential leads as first connections. What are you going to do with that? So you can keep doing the strategy over and over, and maybe you'll end up having someone say stop or yes, I'm interested. Either one of those two, great. As long as you get an answer either way, you're on the right track. What else can you do? Well, with LinkedIn Pro and even LinkedIn, you don't even need LinkedIn Pro, but it's great to have LinkedIn Pro as well. With LinkedIn, you can actually download a CSV file of your first connections. That becomes an excellent, excellent tool to build lists off of for multiple reasons. One, you can actually use it to direct target them on Facebook if you guys are utilizing it. You need a little bit more than 400 people, I'd say. I don't think actually that's true. I think you might only need 20, I think. I could be wrong on that. Definitely not a Facebook ads expert. But you can utilize it for direct targeting, lookalike audience, which I'd say is actually the most powerful. I've done that myself. I created a 500-person lookalike audience just for my LinkedIn strategies of entrepreneurs, digital marketers, people that are in my niche. I created a lookalike audience and was getting unbelievable results for my webinar. Crazy numbers, like $4 cost per registrant, insane figures that I couldn't believe were possible. And that only happened because of LinkedIn. Those are 2 really great methods. And then, of course, the most obvious, actually emailing them. You can actually email them. Do not use MailChimp. I hear this all the time. If you're doing cold email outreach, MailChimp is the worst possible platform. They will ban you so fast. That ban hammer will slam you so quickly. If you get like 3 unsubscribes, you're done. And you're going to get a lot of them. You're going to get a lot of unsubscribes, period. Like they didn't ask to be solicited by email, but I mean, if you're doing any cold email strategy, obviously you already know about that.
This runs really well. It ties in perfectly with the Mike Wu training that we filmed like a week or 2 ago. It's already in the members portal, so we were talking about how to build up a list, and so you can either go out and buy lists, and try and develop your own through advertising, or you can use LinkedIn prospecting like this and download those profiles. I think this is actually probably the strongest way to develop an email list of targeted, high quality people, and then just do that whole Mike Wu training on the cold email strategy.
It's incredibly powerful. I'm not huge into cold emails. I haven't done it so much. I've followed some of Mike's stuff and got some clients from it, which was fantastic. I definitely would recommend anyone really focusing hard on email lists, like trying to grow it. I know like this email list has become like this holy grail in marketing today. The truth is you don't really need an email list to be successful at all. Doesn't hurt, that's for sure. Definitely doesn't hurt. Especially, I think for me personally, the biggest thing that LinkedIn provides is the ability for lookalike audiences. Lookalike audiences versus cold traffic on Facebook, it's just, there's not a comparison. Just not a comparison. Even if it's people that don't even know you, like people that have not even answered you on LinkedIn, you know they're in your target market if they're someone that you searched on LinkedIn. Very, very powerful. And again, utilize Mike's strategy, and I'm sure you can generate a great list here. That's something I just wanted to mention to you. So that's kind of the strategy in a nutshell. I know it was kind of all over the place, and basically what I'll do is I'll kind of give Austin maybe a sheet that we can put on here to give you guys just a nutshell view overall of what it is. And again, on linmailpro.com, when you actually download the widget and the Google Chrome application, they have trainings for every single piece of this, so you can go through it. Now, I want to talk about some guidelines here for a second. It's very important to not get suspended on LinkedIn, that you follow these guidelines. First of all, there's an article on linmailpro.com called Staying Out of Jail. These are basically the guidelines to avoid getting suspended or banned on LinkedIn. First thing I will say is if you've never done LinkedIn prospecting and then you suddenly want to jump in there and hit max numbers on everything, like 50 connections, 200 messages, 300 profile views, etc., you will 100% get suspended or worse, banned. You do not want that to happen. Now, at the end of the day, nothing's going to actually happen to you. They're not going to come after you. But you want your profile there, especially if you're building a list. I have a very, very, very important connections group. If I suddenly mess that up because I got banned and lost my 3,000 plus connections, I'd be devastated. I'd be absolutely devastated. So I make sure to continue to follow guidelines. It's the same thing that Dave says in his Facebook ads training. This is not about towing the line. This is staying way above board. There's no need to even risk it. Just don't risk it. So here's basically what I'd recommend as the guidelines. And again, follow it to the T. Profile visits, keep it under 200 a day. I would go with about 150. You would be pretty fine with that. And you'll still get enough leads doing that. Connection requests, 50 a day is really nerve-wracking if you started that. I would again start at about 25 and then scale by about 10 a day. That's what I would do until you get to about 50. I really would not go over 50. It's just abnormal for people to be sending more than 50 connection requests per day. If you do it manually and try to send 50, I think you'll get an idea of why it would seem abnormal to send 50 automatically. It's going to take you at minimum 3 minutes per 50. You're talking about almost 3 hours. Like, it's insane. Just do not do over 50, please. Messaging. This one's really up in the air. It really depends on how often you utilize LinkedIn. So before, I was utilizing LinkedIn like a madman before my connection request. I was sending an insane amount of messages manually, which was awful, to be honest. But I was sending almost like 80 a day. Crazy, crazy amount myself. Spending a lot of time on it because I did not have the money or capital to run ads on Facebook. And this was my way to generate leads. So now I'd say max it out at about 150 messages a day. Do not even come close to starting with that. Not even in that stratosphere. You will definitely get banned. I'd say about 20, 25, increase again by 10 a day. Once you get to like 50, then you're pretty much fine to go like 50 to 75 to 100. They're not going to bother you after that. Just making sure, like, if you were looking at a profile, like what would look strange to you, right? Suddenly you send 3 messages a week and now you're sending 100. Like, come on, you get the idea, right? Season it a little bit. It might take you a week or so, but once that's done, then you don't even have to worry about it anymore. And that's really important. Next, what I want to talk about here is messaging scripts. Kind of mentioned this before, but I'm just going to kind of go over here what I do and how I think it will benefit you guys. For the connection request, I want you to stick to the rules. Again, season your account. Got to be 280 characters or less. I always go with 250 or less just to make sure. You never know why. The reason why I do it, the first name of someone could be a lot longer than you anticipate. Some people have really long first names or last names, and if you're putting that as your personalized message, which I strongly recommend, you think you have a message that's 280 characters, and then suddenly the name brings it up to like 280, 295, and it will not send, and the whole thing will fall apart. The one issue I have with LinMail Pro is if there's an issue, there's not really like a pop-up that there's an issue. You have to manually find that out when you come back 30 minutes later and realize, Oh man, only 2 messages were sent. That would suck, right? So keep it under 250. That's what I always do. There's not going to be a name that's over 30 characters. I'm very shocked if that's the case. If you want to be like super, super careful, do 240. You'll be just fine. Keep it simple on there. Do not put any links, no pitch. First of all, if you put in links, LinkedIn hates that. They do not want any connection requests being with links. That's a clear solicitation. I don't know if it's I don't know if you're going against LinkedIn's rules, but they do not like that. And it will be a detriment to your account. So no pitch, no links, just be like, hey, I'm happy to connect, mention their niche, say why you're kind of interested in connecting with them in a very short method, and go from there. Again, most people don't even see that message until they accept your request. But for the few that do, it could be the deciding factor of, hey, I want to connect with Austin, or hey, I don't, right? That's the idea. After that, you got messaging. Now, in the standard messaging where you're going to send the messages to your first connections, again, stick to the rules I told you. You're going to send at maximum, when you're the highest level, 150 a day, start at about, again, 25 or so. This is only, again, to first connections. You're not sending messages to second. You literally cannot do that. You can only do that with InMail, which you get, I think, 45 of them with Business Plus. So if you have like a couple leads that you see that are like, you want to attack them aggressively, absolutely go for it. I'll be honest, I don't even use InMail because this method works so well. It's just not even necessary. And then finally, as I said, you want to follow up with old valued connections. So a month, maybe 2 months later, you realize, hey, I connected with over 400 people that never answered me. You want to send them another message request. Now, again, you cannot be so specific to each individual if you're doing the automated method. If you end up doing this more personalized, then you're able to kind of each and every person go to their profile, make a mention, make an offer. It works, but that's not the effective part of the method. The effective part of the method is kind of set and forget, right? That's like the entire idea of this. You want it to be automated. So I'd keep it general and focus on their overall niche and their overall pain point. If you understand your customer avatar really well, you can kind of get away with sending 50 messages that seem really personalized to the person, but it's not. That's really the trick. And there's definitely like a science. There's not a science, an art. It's not a science. It's an art. There's an art to it. And I think it just takes a little bit of time. But once you start getting there, if you're a gifted copywriter or a gifted writer in general, you're going to have a head start. If you need help from someone, I feel like messaging on the EA group and posting your initial message, I definitely will answer. I'm sure several other people will answer. It's a really good way to kind of make sure, hey, do you guys like this message? Am I sounding good? Am I not? And so you guys know, so I can be open, vulnerable with you guys. I'm not perfect. I sent a message just 2 weeks ago, and it was all about me. I messed it up. It was all about me. I was like, I'm the greatest, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't that, but that was essentially what it was. And this guy answered me back, very polite. And he was like, look, Alex, like, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have any interest in working with you right now because your entire message is about you. Had nothing to do with me. You didn't mention anything about my business. If you look at my profile for 30 seconds, you would have known this and that and the other. And what can I say there? Can I say, oh, that guy's the worst, he's a jerk? No, the reality is he's 100% correct, 100% correct. I went to him, I said, look, you're 100% correct. I apologize, yada, yada. I ended up actually getting a consult with him because of it, and he actually is a client. But that's not the point. The point was that he told me, he kind of made it clear to me like, hey, look, I'm your market. You're not giving us enough love and attention here. Make it better. Make your messaging better. And I did. It's all about optimizing. You're not going to hit a home run on the first at bat. Kind of take it slow. You're going to learn. Don't give up right away. This is not a method that like there's magic beans and it's suddenly just going to sprout you clients. You need to put in the effort. The method is automated. I mean, you need to put in maybe 30 minutes a day on this and you could be generating thousands of dollars in revenue a month. I mean, how many of you watching right now, seriously, how many watching right now are like so desperate to make that next 1,500, so desperate to find that next client? And when you have the answers in front of you, like LinkedIn, you're like, hey, I'll try it for a day. And then if it doesn't work, I'm not interested. That's not how this will work. At least I challenge you. Austin challenges you. We all challenge you. At least put a month into it. At least put 30 days, seriously put in that time. And if you want to do 5 out of the 7 days a week, go for it. But really actually try. Like, this is not a method that's going to suddenly give you success in a day. It can, but you're going to more than likely need some time to get used to it, to understand how this works and what people really are, interested in. One of the things that I do for my messaging that I kind of will encompass this and come back around. I try to think sometimes, and I'm not saying that I'm always perfect and I always think this way, but I try to, what if I was getting solicited or messaged on Facebook, on LinkedIn, via email, what would I want to see that would make me want to get back in touch with them? I'll tell you what I won't want to see. I won't want to see fake scarcity. I won't want to see fake implementation. I definitely won't want to see people bashing me. I don't know why that is such a common thing. Your SEO is terrible. Your ads are awful. Guys, no one wants to hear that. Do you want to hear that? Do you want to hear someone bashing you or saying, hey, look, I don't really think what you're doing right now is perfect, but I can help you supplement and kind of give you some tools that may be able to bring your business to the next level? Does that sound like something you're interested in? Isn't that much better than saying your SEO sucks and I can help you with it? Come on, guys.
Yeah, this is gold. Like, you should be writing, like, I don't know, have a whole notebook already filled with notes, because not only are you dropping bombs on, on how to do LinkedIn prospecting, this is just pure sales gold.
For sure.
This, what you're saying right now, it's not about you, it's about them. Like, this goes back to the whole Dale Carnegie stuff, how to win friends and influence people.
Love it.
It's like all of this stuff is not just based on LinkedIn prospecting. This is like marketing advice that is cemented in all different platforms, not just LinkedIn. So make sure that you're really paying attention here, guys, because this is just great stuff, Alex.
I appreciate that. And my background, so you guys know, like, my two major skills, and just like one quick Gary Vaynerchuk thing, not sure if everyone loves him or not. If you don't, no worries. I'm a big fan. I like the way that he's like a rah-rah, this boom bah kind of guy. I like that stuff. It's me. He says something that kind of really, really touches I really like what he's saying here. Basically, triple down on your strengths, right? And this is not about LinkedIn prospecting. This is not about anything. This is just about you in general in your life. If you're focused on what your skills are, what you can really do better than other people, why are you focusing on trying to get better at something that you're not good at? So maybe you can become mediocre, where rather you can become an excellent at some spot. So I realized I was a pretty mediocre journalist, and I tried really hard to get really good at it. I got pretty good at it, but I made no money. There was nothing there for it. And then I realized, well, I'm really good at speaking. I can articulate myself very well. I can help people. I can motivate them. I can inspire them. How do I kind of put that into a new business? Well, I'm really good at sales, and I kind of understand digital marketing, and I put my effort into it. And that's how I kind of created this. That's how I've gotten to this point. If you're watching this video right now and you're like, wow, like, I don't even know what my skills are. I don't even know what my strengths are. Well, that's something that you should be thinking about every day. Put it on a whiteboard, put it on a piece of paper, and really consider where your best strengths are so you can focus on those. And like he was saying, like Tim Ferriss is saying, like Austin is saying, delegate the stuff that you're not good at. You're going to make more money anyways doing that. And I know that's what it all comes back to. But that's not what it's even about. It's not just about money. You're not doing this just for money. You're doing this for financial freedom and time freedom, and so that you're happy with your life, so you go to sleep at night and wake up excited and invigorated, so you're not stressed and frustrated. I know a lot of people watching this right now are watching because they desperately need LinkedIn so they can make more money. When you're watching this and you've made it to this part of the masterclass, first of all, good job. You already made it through a decent amount of material. We've gone through quite a lot. Now, it might be a little bit all over the place. That's kind of who I am a little bit. But the idea is, if you're watching this and any of this is motivating you, take action. That's what matters. You don't have to be perfect. Focus on your strengths, take action, and start making these things work, okay? That's something I really wanted to make clear here. So again, messaging, it's about them, not about you. Okay, on to the last two sections of this. Then if there's any questions or anything like that, I'm happy to answer them. The final thing is growing your network and contact list. I kind of already mentioned this, but I'm just gonna kind of briefly sum it up again. Again, LinkedIn allows you to take away your first connections. LinMail Pro does the same thing. There's no reason why you need to use either or the or. They just both utilize the same thing. You can actually take away your first connections and then create an email list through it, a lookalike audience, etc., like we were talking about. Go check out Mike Wu's strategy. Try that out and see if it works for you. CRM platform, we use ActiveCampaign. We just put on the bottom that you're either a member of Prospecting on Demand or signed up for the notifications or a valued LinkedIn contact. ActiveCampaign does not accept LinkedIn contacts as a viable source, so we don't tell them that. I'm just being honest. We just say that they're prospecting on demand notifications, but we really don't have problems with it very often. We don't get any issues really. I've heard SendGrid is amazing for cold emails, and whatever Mike is recommending, I'm sure it's fantastic. Finally, and the last part of this is networking and LinkedIn groups. This is not at all related to the strategy for LinMail Pro. This is just the idea of utilizing and networking. Networking is everything, guys. I mean, I know Austin's story. One of his great stories is, you know, when he needed to get a client, what did he do? He got out there, busted his ass, went out there, met people, canvassed, networked, just got it done. Just got it done. Now, the amazing thing that we are capable of doing in 2017 that our parents weren't even able to do, that maybe even our older brothers weren't even able to do because Facebook wasn't even a thing, is being able to network online in a completely different format than ever before. Yeah, forums were a thing, but what was that? That was anonymous, right? From 1995 to like 2000-ish, maybe even a little bit earlier than that even, it's all anonymous. So you can't really do a lot of great networking. Of course, there was business forums in the underground and some very successful ones. But since Facebook, since social media came about, the networking capabilities online, you cannot gauge how incredible they are. How many millions of dollars are being poured through just groups alone? How many people right now watching this, just on EA, was connected with someone on EA, and then you created some sort of JV or revenue generating opportunity. I like to call those RGOs. That's my thing. I like it. Revenue generating opportunities, right? How many of you have gotten that? I'm guessing you're watching, you're like, ooh, me, I did. I got one. I got a client, or I helped someone with a copywriting gig, or I wrote some email sequence, or I made a funnel, right? These are the things that are capable only through networking online. Now, yes, prospecting is important, but when you're in groups, opportunities come about without any investment besides time being put in. There's no monetary investment. If you're just on Entrepreneur Alliance, powering through value all the time, people are going to get in touch with you to ask you to work with them. Simple. That's on EA. There's 100 other groups on Facebook, free ones, internet marketing, super friends, digital marketing. There's 100. I don't even need to go through it. But the idea is there's so much opportunity there. Here's the thing. The same amount on Facebook is there on LinkedIn, and no one utilizes it. At least the very few amount of people I speak to. I don't know why. I'm preaching to the choir here, to be honest. I don't really utilize it that much, but when I do, I'm like there, I'm thinking, wow, all these people are perfect leads. They need my help. They're asking for X and X, and or X and Y, and I can actually, you know, provide for them. If I go in there, I make a comment, just like you would on Facebook, you can easily generate new business and new leads. So what you want to do is, based on your network, there's probably over 2 million groups on LinkedIn. I'd say there's probably more than that. So I'm not really 100% sure, but I can almost guarantee you that if you search your niche on LinkedIn, whatever it is, there's going to be a group there. Now, if there's a group of over 500 people that's active in any way, like 1 to 5 posts a day, you should be in there posting every day, either commenting on something, posting some value, becoming an expert in your area. And then someone will come to you and say, hey, John, hey, Austin, hey, Alex, you know, I saw this post and I got this recommendation for you because I saw X and Y and I saw that you could probably help me. Would you like to get on a call? Well, suddenly now you've just gotten an inbound lead without doing anything. That is the key, guys. Now, I can't tell you, there's a lot of you watching these EA training that have come to me. I've never met you at all. The reason why is because someone tagged me on an EA post about LinkedIn. And you're coming to me and saying, hey, can you help me with LinkedIn? Absolutely. Inbound lead. May not close every single person. It's not always about that, but the idea is the opportunities are there. So what I want you to do is search, connect, message, post in groups on LinkedIn. Utilize it the same way that you would on Facebook. Challenge yourself to maybe spend 10 minutes a day to go on LinkedIn, go to a group, post something, no matter what it is. Even if it's a, hooray, you did something awesome. Like, I don't care what it is. Just get in there and show some value. If you do that, you will be successful. And that's really LinkedIn in a nutshell, guys. I hope this training has really helped you guys understand the power of LinkedIn. If you have any really specific questions, feel free to get in touch with me. I'm more than happy to help you guys. But don't underestimate the power of LinkedIn. Again, 450 million members plus. Do not underestimate that. Do not. All right. I hope this was awesome for you guys. Thanks a lot for having
Alex, me. This was fantastic, man. I mean, what a powerful training. You know, I hope that you guys don't just learn a lot. I hope that you take a lot of action as well. And, you know, Alex, I'd love to, you know, hear, what's your favorite book? Is it this guy? Is that what motivated you to dive so deep into this?
So what's my favorite business book or favorite book altogether?
Why don't we do both then?
So I have a pretty lame book altogether. I mean, look, I love it. I can't deny it. I love The Hunger Games. It's just so good.
I do love I watched the movies. I haven't read the books.
Movies are great too. The book is so fantastic. I really love that. I don't know why. It's just a really good book. It's a great little, it's just good. I haven't really read a lot of books similar to Hunger Games. So that one really sticks out. because I end up reading a lot of business books. I listen to audiobooks more than reading. That's my big thing. So I've been waiting. I got Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Workweek. I read that, which was one of the first business books I actually read. That was important. I read The Secret. Whatever. It was okay. I would say the 4-Hour Workweek is like the book. Like if someone comes to me and says, Alex, what's the book for entrepreneurship? Like that, I have to read. And I would probably go with the 4-Hour Workweek.
Go get this book, guys.
It's huge.
Great book.
I'd say E-Myth, really, really good. Some books not related to business. Malcolm Gladwell, anything he writes, outstanding. It's just incredible what he's capable of. 1984, very relevant now, very great book. But yeah, I would say business-wise, I would have to go with pretty much anything Tim Ferriss writes. Just a beast. Love that guy. Big fan. I haven't read. There's a lot of ones that I want to read that I haven't read. Like I haven't read any of Tony Robbins' books. I haven't read like any Grant Cardone. But I've heard like a lot of that stuff is just rah-rah, zis, boom, bah, which I like. I like that kind of invigoration, but I like action. There's this place for rah-rah and there's a place for action. That's why I feel like when someone goes to Tony Robbins, you have to take that action, the rah-rah he's giving you, and implement it. If you just take that rah-rah, the level that you're at is going to just dip so far down. A week later, you're not going to feel like you felt the day you just left that Tony Robbins seminar. Take action and you'll keep feeling it. That's the idea. And that's the same idea we're trying to bring to here. Don't watch this and think, great, LinkedIn is something I will try in April. Try it now. Try it right now. Put it into action. That's the idea.
I love it, man. Have you gotten a hold of this one yet?
So I have that. I have not really started it, unfortunately. As you can see, it's gigantic. Yeah. So I think I think book sizes kind of they kind of intimidate me. It's like a daunting task. Like, oh, if I start this, I'm not going to want to put it down. Then I'm going to be stuck on it for a month and a half. And it's fantastic. I want to read it. I mean, I have it. I have it. I just haven't gotten to it yet. I actually reread 4-Hour Workweek very recently. I listened to the whole thing on an audiobook as I moved from across state. Man, it's so good. It's just so good. You listen to it. You read it, you listen to it, and you just capture something new like each time, or something resonates with you in a different way. That's really like one of the better books I've ever read. I love it.
And I believe that's so true. Like it's important to reread books because it's not that the knowledge inside the book is new. It's that you're now a newer entrepreneur.
100%.
You're listening and searching for different advice. And so often I will catch something that I didn't recognize in the beginning because I just wasn't at that point in my life yet. I wasn't enough to recognize the power of what he was saying.
Well, keep in mind also, if there's a book of about 500 pages, your brain can only remember so much. And the way our brain works is through something that's very powerful to us that causes emotion, catharsis, sadness, happiness, scared. Any real emotion that you feel from something that resonates with you deeply is something you will remember. That's why when you have an event in your life from way back in the day, you may remember like a smell, like your grandma's smell. Why do you remember that? Because it's such a powerful memory because of how you feel about it. It's not the smell, it's the way you feel about it. And when you're listening to Tim Ferriss's book, one time you read through it, something really resonates with you at that time in your life. 5 years later, that thing that resonated with you originally no longer does, but 20 other things do. It's really incredibly powerful. And it's not just Tim Ferriss, it's anything. I think my big thing, by the way, and I don't know if anyone else does this, I like TED Talks a lot. I love TED Talks. It's kind of like getting all that information and kind of encapsulating it much faster. Tim Ferriss has an unbelievable TED Talk. If you haven't listened to it, talking about how he's a karate master and a dancing champion. And oh man, it's amazing. Strongly recommend checking that out if you guys haven't. But yeah, it's all about creating messages that resonate. Same thing on LinkedIn, same thing on your advertisements, same thing on your funnels. You have to create a message that resonates with your audience so that they're interested in working with you. Otherwise, why are they working with you? There's no reason. So that's something that I find to be really powerful. And I try to find something that resonates with me strongly every single day. So that I can feel some sort of great emotion. That's what I always try to strive for, at least once a day.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, as we wrap up here, if anybody ever wanted to contact you, Alex, what would be your preferred way to be contacted?
Yeah, you guys can definitely, I'd say probably Facebook is the easiest way. Alex Schlinsky. My last name is SCHLINSKY. You can find me in the group. Probably the easiest way to contact me. I'll always be answering that. It's funny how Facebook is now totally business related. there's no more fun on Facebook anymore. All business. So you guys can definitely contact me on Facebook. You could also reach me by email at alex@skysocialmediallc.com. You can send a carrier pigeon to my house if you'd like. Flowers, that'll be nice. I'll give them to my wife. So however you guys want to get in touch with me, I'll be here. Feel free to get in touch. I'm more than happy to help you guys.
Awesome. Well, hey, I really appreciate your time here today. I hope everybody else got a lot of value out of it, a whole notebook full of notes.
Awesome.
But we're going to wrap up here, guys. This was another masterclass here with the Entrepreneur Alliance on automating your LinkedIn prospecting.
Awesome.
So anyway, guys, I'll see you on the inside. Dream big, believe big, and achieve big. I'll talk to you all soon.